I'm about to share a great secret with you, a secret of how I transformed my life. You know, when I look back over my life, it doesn't make any sense. When I look back and wonder how in the world did I, coming out of the cotton fields of Louisiana, end up in television where I anchored with Maury Povich and Al Roker. You all know Al Roker. Al is at the Today Show now in New York. Maury still has his own show. Well, I spent my early years in television with those guys. I had absolutely no training, no understanding of what I was doing. How in the world did I do that? So when you look back at my life, I have to ask myself, what did I do? How did I get from the cotton fields of Louisiana to the heights of Washington, D.C., and being on television every night? How did that happen? I look back at my life and I began to ask myself, you know, I spent the early part of my life on the south end of a northbound mule. Y'all hear that? You know what kind of end that is? I said I spent the early part of my life on the south end of a northbound mule. Now, you want to get out of that condition as quickly as you can. So when I look back on my life, I'm trying to figure out, how did I accomplish all of these things? So I started looking back, because the only way you can really measure yourself is not what somebody else has. You measure yourself against where you came from. Measure backwards, and that will let you know how much progress that you have made. So I learned early on how to use the power of my magnetic mind. And that's what I'm going to tell you about today. How to use the power of your magnetic mind. Now, I never knew that I had any power in my mind. But you see, every disadvantage, there's a seed of equivalent advantage. And when a disadvantage comes, most people focus on the disadvantage. But if you want to get to where you want to go, you got to focus on the advantage and look for the advantage in every disadvantage. So during those days, those sweltering days in the cotton field of Louisiana, I learned how to go inside my mind. You see, when you're out there from sun up to sundown, and you're going behind the south end of a northbound mule, you don't have a Walkman, you don't have a teleprompter, you don't have a telephone, you don't have nothing but yourself. So I learned how to escape the heat and the humidity by going inside my mind. And what did I do? I would imagine. I would dream, one day I'm going to be out of this cotton field. But never did I dream about being on television. Never did I dream about having ownership of an organization, starting an organization. Never did I have idea that I would start a federal credit union. But all of that was in my mind, that I was going to get out of the situation I was in. So I want you to know how I did this. I learned how to use my mind at an early age. And I didn't know what I was doing. You see, I didn't know that I had power in my mind. I didn't know this, that the human mind is magnetic. I want you to remember this now. The human mind is magnetic. It can create, it can build up, it can destroy. It can be positive or it can be negative. It cannot be neutral. Again, okay? It's going to be one of the two. It will not remain idle. It can become negative or positive. And here's one other thing the human mind can do. The human mind can kill or it can heal. Either way, it does both of those things. Now, everybody has two minds. Now, they never told me that when I was at Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They didn't even tell me that when I went to Columbia University, Graduate School of Journalism in New York City. They never told me I had two minds. As a matter of fact, nobody ever told me I had one mind. But I learned then that you have two minds. And this is how I'm able to explain my success